I want to talk about pattern interrupts for real estate agents today. So many people talk about the pattern interrupt in sales of any industry, and a pattern interrupt, in my own words, is basically when you, as a salesperson or lead generator or cold caller, say something like, "Hey, John, it's so and so from XYZ company. Do you have 22 minutes to talk?" Or whatever, something like that. Something that doesn't sound like every other 22 seconds to talk. That doesn't sound like every other salesperson to them. Something that's going to kind of catch them off guard or whatever, and not sound like just some generic sales call. And those things work for that reason because it does sound different. But I want to also talk about how the approach that I use for cold call openers is actually it's becoming a sales a pattern interrupt again. And what I mean when I say that is all I do when I make cold calls as a real estate agent is I call property owners and I say, "Hey, John." I assume the name. That's called assuming the name. I'm like, "Hey, John, this is Brad Mycon, real estate agent from EXP Realty. How are you?" Now, everyone thought about sales pattern interrupts because they wanted to avoid sounding generic like that. But so many people go out of their way to not introduce themselves that way that this is now becoming the pattern interrupt again. And I think people should bring this back. I think every real estate agent should bring this back and just introduce themselves first and last name, type of professional they are, and what company they're calling from, and then say, "How are you?" It's a pattern interrupt because nobody expects salespeople to call that way anymore. But it promotes transparency, which is needed now more than ever because of AI and because of people calling overseas, things like that, and scam calls and all the things. This is needed. So if you think that I'm right, or if you want to test my approach, try it and put in the comments what your results are and how this went for you.